This woman is one of the most important people in LGBTQ history, and yet she's a total mystery. Let me explain. I'm Patrick, and I'm having a blast making videos about my obsession with forgotten gay history. So this woman's name is Ernestine Eckstein, and almost everything I'm about to tell you, I learned from the amazing Making Gay History podcast. You must go subscribe to it right this second. Ernestine was born in Indiana in 1941. She makes her way to New York in 1963 when she's 22 and immediately discovers that she's a lesbian. She had never heard the word lesbian before. She didn't even know that gay people existed until one of her friends sat her down and explained what gay was, and she was like, "That's me!" Having discovered that she's gay, she was immediately all in on the burgeoning gay rights movement of the time. It made no sense to her that gay people weren't out loud and proud everywhere, that they didn't have the same rights as everybody else. Ernestine Eckstein was not going to stand for this. In 1965, she starts attending meetings of the Mattachine Society, the only really well-known gay organization at the time. This leads her to the Daughters of Bilitis, which was the all-female counterpart to the Mattachine Society. Right away, she's frustrated that these groups seem to be so much more about helping fellow gays learn to navigate a hostile world. She wanted the gay civil rights movement to be more like the black civil rights movement, to make their rights known, to be marching in the streets, to be visible. She wanted people to come out. She's actually one of the very first people to use the expression coming out. It wasn't in the vernacular in the early 60s. In 1965, Ernestine participated in two of the earliest known gay rights demonstrations. One was in Philadelphia. It's called the Annual Reminder. The other was in front of the White House. And in both instances, not only was she one of the very few women, she was the only person of color. She is the first person of color we know to have participated in demonstrations for gay rights. She is very quickly appointed vice president of the Daughters of Bilitis, and she uses every ounce of the political capital she had to try to transform that organization into one of true activism. Then in 1966, she's the first black woman to be featured on the cover of The Ladder, which was the magazine published by the Daughters of Bilitis. There is an old tape of this interview that she gave. It's a 5-hour tape that they use on the Making Gay History podcast, where you hear her in her own words expressing her frustrations with the movement and her ideas on race, feminism, and the intersectionality of it all, and it was groundbreaking thinking. After this article comes out and she's made her wants and her wishes known and they don't come true, she sort of vanishes. What we know from things that she told other people was that she had gotten tired of the infighting, tired of what she saw as the complacency of the gay civil rights movement of the time, and she moved to San Francisco. She becomes heavily involved in a civil rights organization called Black Women Organized for Action, and that's kind of all we know other than that she died in 1992. But for her brief period in New York, Ernestine Eckstein was an absolutely pivotal figure, and I'll just end by saying she was a trailblazer, and hers is a name we need to know.